Yeah, so good day today. Back together, it was a weekend or Saturday, however you want to call it. It was good to have the fans out there. Really enjoyed that. A lot of good energy at practice today. Had a lot of red zone periods, which was good to see. A lot of good operation there. Ended up with a 2-minute, which is also good. Going to continue to do some of those during training camp. And the end of our first 4-day ramp up, stack of practices. So we like where we are. There's a lot of good competition in there, and we like where we're going in terms of our schemes and development of those, and getting through it. And we'll continue to do that, right? So now these next few stacks, we're going to have 3-day stacks, and we get to get into the pads. So we're excited about evaluating that. We'll have a good meeting tomorrow and evaluate every single player on the roster with the scouting staff and coaches in there, give opinions, development where guys are, what do they need to improve on, and what they're working on, and where the competition is, and be talking to each guy about how that particular player is competing in practice and competing at his position at the level it needs to be successful. So with that, I'll open up to questions. What's that?
Was it a vet day for Eddie Jackson?
Yeah, just him coming off the injury from last year with the rehab, we just feel that it was a good rest day for him. Like I said, we're going into 3-day stacks now, but we'll take that day by day, week by week, and person by person, and do what's best for that person.
How pleased were you with the 2-minute drill with the first offense in terms of like the execution that you saw from Justin?
It was good. It was good. We were into half today. So it was 1:10, and it was one timeout. So we had a timeout in our pocket, and did a nice job of utilizing that, getting ourselves in position with a couple good chunk plays, which is what you need to do in 2 minutes to get in scoring position. And we're searching touchdown there, but we'll take a field goal in that situation, and we got a touchdown. So it was good. It was good.
We've seen Terrell Smith get a lot of work with the ones. What have you liked from what you've seen from him?
Yeah, just solid. He's been really solid. He's learning the position. He's got a lot of good speed. He's got a lot of good long speed to him. He's got good size, and he's smart. And he knows what to do and how to do it. So again, we're going to create competition at those spots, and that's certainly one of them that we're doing that. So it's good to see him in there. He did a nice job today.
Man, when you have a week of practice like this, one of the days you described as OTA type practices, it's clear you guys have gone lighter at different times, and we know there's no contact. So with Justin, what benchmarks did you really want to see him hit this week, and how did he do on that?
Yeah, just I would say much of the same that we've been saying. Just the rhythm and timing of the passing game, having him get connections with the guys he didn't see, in the spring, and continue to develop connection with DJ, which he's done that. You guys have seen a lot of great passes to him. And then with Clay and then Mooney, the guys he didn't get to see. So that's starting to take hold. You can see him really getting comfortable with Bobby. Certainly in the red zone today, saw that, and and other guys. So it's good. And again, we're just going through the offense, installing it one install at a time, and getting the concepts down, and then changing up the plays and how we motion and how we shift. And you guys are doing a good job with that.
How do you view this week of training camp, this stretch that you always start with, in the big picture of what you try to accomplish in the preseason? Is this kind of an acclimation period for the team at large, some basics, or what do you?
Yeah, I think it's set up that way by the NFL, right? So they restrict your time on the field with them. And what we've done a good job of meeting with the performance staff is we really restrict the reps now. So when we really monitor the individual, so we are ramping up during this time, and it'll be that way as we go through. And so we'll be in the ramp up period. 3-day stacks will go moderate, then a little bit heavier, than heavy in those 3-day stacks, coming off a day off. And that's what the science is telling us to do, coming off a day off, to get the guys back into the swing of things when they take that rest day. We're meeting with the guys tonight, like I said, with the performance staff, how to really utilize those days off to get rehydrated, get the muscles right, so we're into the next week, really going all pistons going. So
when you hold training camp practices that are open to the public, how delicate is the balance between letting Bears fans watch your team but not showing too much? For instance, you had a red zone drill that was done at the far end of the field when it seems like it could have very easily been done at the other field, other side, right in front of the fans. Is that the kind of thing that's done in the name of competitive balance? And just in general, how do you approach that?
Yeah, I mean, you're always mindful of that, but we have so many plays that we're putting in and so much defense we're putting in right now that, we're gonna keep putting our defenses and offenses in our schemes. So, when we get out to Soldier Field during Family Day, yeah, we'll certainly restrict some of those things there, but, we're just gonna put our offense and defense in.
How much of an adjustment is it for you, like, you keep on talking about the performance staff, like old school, get out there, go as long as you can.
Yeah.
Until you drop and come back the next day, and now it's all being incorporated, like, is that a huge adjustment for you, the way you coach the team?
I just think you can get it done, so when you look at the reps of a training camp, you get this many reps, right? So, and it's pretty much the same every year, it's been the same. So we've monitored that over the years, but, you can still get the same amount of reps, but do it in a more intelligent way. If I'm saying that right, so we believe that ramping up is the best way to go. And, the guys are excited about that, and we've been talking to them about that as we go through it. And it's been good so far.
How special of a player is Tremaine Edmonds, and is the interception that he made today basically what you were thinking about when you guys signed him?
Yeah, he's a special guy. He's got that length and range in the middle of our defense. Chicago Bear Mike linebackers are pretty special, and he's going to be special. And so he's on his way to doing that, and he's had great practices in the spring, and he started off really well, and that was a really good play today. And he's got really good ball skills. He's got the length to get that done in the middle, and we're excited where he is. And TJ and the rest of our linebackers. Jack got some reps today, which was good to see, and he'll continue to ramp that up too.
Mooney, it felt like Mooney was more active today than he'd been all camp. Was that intentional? And can he open it up a little bit more, knowing that there's that day off tomorrow?
Yeah, he's been going. Just we limited his reps. So he's been in there. He's been going full go and full blast, and he looks great. His start and stop looks good. His speeds look good. So he's been doing a really nice job.
Coach, it was DeMarcus Walker. I think we've all heard him at some point during practice. What strikes you about his energy, and how is that what have you appreciated about it so far?
Yeah, just the baseline of loving football. I mean, he just loves it. He loves to compete. He loves to be out there. So he's an exciting guy to watch, and he's a leader, because he leads with his passion. And we need that, right? We all need that, right? Great football teams have great enthusiasm and great passion, and he brings that every day.
Matt, from Mundo NFL in Spanish. Final stretch of the preseason, a lot of possession battles going on. Which ones do you think are the hottest ones right now, the hardest ones to judge? And how do you manage expectations from the players and the expectations that they build towards the fans also? Because some fans want to see this player or that player.
Right. Yeah, that's a good question. I would just say that competition's across the whole football team, and we certainly have battles at a lot of spots. And as your football team gets better and better and better, a lot of those battles are at the back end of the roster. But we still have some position battles in the starting positions that are up for grabs, and certainly got some back end spots that are open too. But we certainly like where it is, and guys that make plays, right, and guys that execute, and guys that love the game and play with the right effort are going to be the guys that are on this football team.
Matt, we saw Lucas and Jatiri get work with the first team at right guard in lieu of Nate. Is there any reason for that, or just kind of testing them out?
Yeah, just always rotation. Get guys ready to go. Because how the season is. It's long, right? We're gonna have different combinations in there. Of course, it's not going to be the same 5 guys the whole year. We already know that. So we got to make sure we prepare our guys to get ready to do that.
In your second year now as head coach, look back on your first year. This year, what do you want to spend maybe more or less time focusing on than maybe you did last year? Is there a particular thing that maybe last year you spent max amount of time you want to spend less or more doing this year?
Yeah, last year I was a lot in the offense with the quarterbacks because I wanted to build a relationship with Justin and learn that terminology, learn the time, how they do things and how they operate, how they install. So I did a lot of that. I'm going to spend more of a 50-50 blend this year. And that'll be good. I think it'll be good for a whole football team.
Matt, how do you guys evaluate some of the passing in like 7-on-7 and even 11-on-11 in terms of when you're watching film and in your head, okay, this was too much time in the pocket, this would have been a sack?
Yeah, so I let plays go. Obviously when we coach everybody up on that, so there's sacks out there that sometimes happen that I let go because we work on the scramble part of it, the scramble drill, because Justin will break tackles. We've seen that, right? We've seen him move and throw on the run. And our defense needs to work on that as well. So that's why you'll see some of that. So we just judge it as that. We just say, hey, defensive line, if he does break free, obviously you're staying away from the quarterback. That would have been a sack, potentially, but it was a good rush. And then from there, we just work our scramble drill from there.
I meant more how you evaluate the offense in those plays, though, where we might see a nice completion, but you were watching the film and saying, well, that was
Yeah,
way
same way.
too long.
Yeah,
That
just
would've
say,
never
just
happened.
tell them that, hey, that was too long, the protection was good or wasn't, or, this needs to be, thrown on time, and just coach them like that. Yep.
Matt, we've seen Jalen Johnson and DJ Moore go against each other a few times.
Yep.
When those two guys in particular are repping against each other, what are you watching? What are you honing in on?
Well, I think it's great competition. You got two starters, in the NFL that are going against each other. So it's high competition, and we feel great about DJ, and Jalen, both those guys working together. And just you're working on fundamentals and technique, and then who wins. That's what matters. And the guys did a nice job in the red zone. And the big thing when you're going against your own team is, we do a good job of staying on our feet. We want to stay up, want to protect ourselves. So there is a line there that you don't want to cross, and the guys do a good job with that, competing that way.
This is a little bit of an obscure question, but I saw Keyshawn Johnson out there today. Is he doing anything with you guys, or is he on his own?
I did not notice that. I did not know about it. So
Jalen spoke yesterday, Matt, about his contract and a lot of conversation about does he need more interceptions to get paid more. Do you want to see him be more aggressive that way, or would you rather just see him, play the way he's played at this point in his career?
yeah, I just want to see him develop. From year one in our system to year two, and he's going to be better. Because he's got the whole year, most of the year, last year under his belt, and I just want to see him improve. And part of that improvement is getting takeaways. So punching the ball. He had that nice punch out in that first game. But stepping in front of things when it's there. And making some interceptions, and he's more than capable of doing that. He's got a great set of hands. He's got great instincts, and he's a good player. And so we want to just have that year two bump up.
Matt, what did you think about his comments overall yesterday? Jalen was talking about he's here to work. He's going to see how this plays out. He has more to earn. What did you think of his comments about his contract situation yesterday?
No, I think that's the right frame. The right frame of mind being that, when you want to work, right, be where you are right here, where your feet are, and focus on the now and the present, and just becoming a better player, and producing more. That's what we all want to do. And I think it's a great mindset.
Along the lines of the takeaway stuff.
What's that?
Along the lines of playing a little bit more aggressive to grab those takeaways versus just locking somebody down. Like, where is that line for you? Is there room to play a little bit more aggressively, take a chance here and there?
Yeah, that's what the player's instincts. The player's instincts are that, right? So you got to have the discernment during the play. Okay, is this? Do I have the ability to step in front of this or knock it down, or step in front and pick it? So, the guys, we want to be aggressive with our strip attempts. Of course, we're going to punch and hammer the ball every single play. So we're on top of that with our players. And but yeah, you always got to be aggressive, right? And we want them to play aggressive.
Last one, we've talked to you about your edge rushers and about how you guys might be in the market for another one. Can you tell anything without pads on, or what can you tell with or without pads on, and how important is it going to be once they go up next week?
Yeah, pads are everything, because it's hard to. If I'm an offensive lineman, it's really hard to block a defensive lineman with no pads. It just is, right? And it's hard to block them in the run game too. But once they get pads on, it's a little easier for those guys. So we'll get a true evaluation next week.